Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome back to Aviary Attorney, where we, a couple of birds, are trying to make sure that a cat doesn't get convicted of murdering a frog in France. Because, yes, that's actually what we're doing. So last part, we gathered all the evidence, and now it's trial day. Let's see what we can do here. So Falcon and Sparrowson stand inside the marble portico of the Palais de Justice, awaiting the opening of the Tribunal de Grande Instance. Are you nervous, Falcon? Yes, to be honest, I imagine I would be. Of course I'm nervous. We're woefully underprepared for this case. 2 days? We've only had 2 days to prepare. How are we expected to get anything done in that time frame? Calm your feathers, Falcon. We can do this.
Monsieur Falcon, Petit Sparrowson. Is there anything you need me to do?
No, we've got a handle on things. Falcon was just telling us how confident he was feeling about the case.
That's wonderful. I just know you two will pull through.
Let's move it along, fellas.
I'll be watching from inside. Do your best for me, Monsieur Falcon.
Are we ready? Yeah, we're ready. Judge Maxime. Alright, settle down, everyone, settle down. Is everyone here? J.J. Falcon, present. The defence lawyer is ready, Your Honour. Rupert Rabbington ready, the ready is prosecution, Your Honour. And that's not... gosh, where are my notes? Ha! I knew it. Knew what? Rupert and I went to Paris Law School together. He was in all of my classes. Oh, was he smart? Pfft, nah, he always scored the second worst marks in the class. I can only assume that he bumbled through the final exam on the luck of his 2 rabbits' feet. Unless he's improved considerably, you might already have this trial in the bag. That's good to know. Say, Sparrowson, if Rupert scored the second lowest marks in the class, then who scored the lowest? I choose to exercise my right to not self-incriminate. There it is. The prosecution is ready, Your Honour. Oh, the jury are present. All present and accounted for, Your Honour. I like the jury. The jury is an excellent selection of seals, vultures, hippos. I like the hippo at the back. The hippo's good. Hey, Falcon, I thought there were only 6 members of a jury for cases like this. Why do I count 8? Oh, those 2 birds with the funny hats are assesseurs, the associate judges. Claire, is this accurate? Is this correct legal Frenchese?
Would you believe I actually have never been in a court of law in France?
That's your story and you're sticking to it. Alright, fine.
Exactly.
Everything seems to be in order, so let us begin. The count is now in session for the trial of Dame Cataline de Meow. Prosecution, please call your first witness to the stand. Oh gosh, they're ready. Okay. I chose to call the officer in charge of the murder investigation, Inspector Valerti, to the witness stand. Inspector Valerti, please approach the stand and recite the oath. As you will, Your Honour, I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Inspector, please state your name and occupation for the record. My name is Inspector Just Valerti. I am a servant to the law, a scourge of the gutter rats that plague this city. I have enforced the law for over 20 years, and I shall continue until I bring the infamous Viridian killer to justice. I feel like the game may have just dropped an overarching plot theme we're going to get to later in there. My path begins 18 years ago. Let's stick to the questions, Inspector. Of course, Your Honour. Oh great, I was hoping we could have one of those bumbling cuddly officers, but instead we're stuck with a lawful goody two-shoes. Bet this guy would turn his own mother if he saw her littering. So, Inspector, is it true that you are the lead investigator on this case? That is correct. I was also among the first to arrive at the scene of the crime. Then perhaps you can walk us through what you witnessed upon your arrival? Absolutely. Just after 7:30, we were alerted and brought to the scene by the housemaid of Baron Roguel. At the scene of the crime, we found Dame Cataline de Meow. She was standing over the corpse of Monsieur Conwy with his blood on her paws. Well, that sounds like an open and shut case, in my humble opinion. No more questions, Your Honour. Bloodied paws? No one told me that detail. Keep it together, Falcon. You're about to be given the opportunity to cross-examine the witness. That's your opportunity to find flaws in the inspector's testimony. Of course, I knew this. You may begin your cross-examination, Monsieur Falcon. Cross-examination? So, cross-examine the witness to find flaws in the testimony. Alright, select a key phrase you find suspicious and Falcon will press the witness for information. Ask the right question and bring the truth to light. But don't press for pointless details because the judge and jury don't like having their time wasted. Okay, so alerted and brought in by the housemaid at the scene of the crime. It was found something with a sliced open corpse. Okay, so those two issues are non-issues. We know for a fact, we know what the scene of the crime is, that's not disputed. We know that the corpse was sliced open. That's, again, completely not disputed. But blood on her paws, well, we don't even know what that detail is, so we may as well push about that, because that seems fairly bloody important. Inspector, you say Dame Kathleen had blood on her paws. Correct. Blood onto her fur like guilt to a convict. And whose blood was it? How much blood? Never mind. Whose blood was it? There's no one else who could have been bleeding there. There's no reason... I mean, we know no one else was injured. How much blood was there? Again, I don't see how that leads us to anything that helps her. But I guess technically, as we're literally talking... I mean, if we're taking the kind of the law thing seriously... There is no proof in this day and age, because there will be no DNA testing or anything, that the blood was Monsieur Granouille's blood. So let's see if we can push on that point. And whose blood was it? Ha! What a question. It was Monsieur Granouille's, of course. How can you be so sure? I object. The line of question is absurd. There was only one murder victim that night, Falcon. The blood on Dame Kathleen's paws could only belong to one person, Monsieur Granouille. Judge, Falcon's just trying to delay the trial by asking pointless questions. I'm afraid the prosecution may have a point, Monsieur Falcon. Do you have any reason to suspect that the blood belonged to someone other than Monsieur Granouille? That I do not. I do not, Your Honor. Wait, Falcon, you're on to something. I am? Yeah, I can sense it. Look for your evidence. Maybe there's something that can give you a clue. I'm not sure where this is going, but I'll try. Alright. Crack open the evidence locker. So, not the camera. Not the... the red herring. This is the red herring. Lady Kathleen ate a bloody rare steak at the banquet. That's the blood. Yes. Yes. I know everything. I'm so good at trials. Okay. That's totally what we're going for here. Yep. I know exactly where this is going. Alright, let's try again. Monsieur Falcon, do you have a reason to suspect that the blood on Dame Kathleen's paws did not belong to Monsieur Granouille? I do, Your Honour. Actually, I have more than suspicion. I have evidence that the blood on Dame Kathleen's paws had nothing to do with the murder. This is foolish time wasting, Falcon. If the blood on Dame Kathleen's paws didn't come from the victim, where did the blood come from? And it came from the bloodied steak. On the evening of the murder, Dame Kathleen ate a bloody rare steak. Is this true, Monsieur Abington? Well, in the manner of her speaking, I suppose steak may have been on the menu. Then, Inspector, would you acknowledge the possibility that the blood on the lady's paws did not belong to the victim, but the steak? Well... Wait, don't answer that, Inspector. It is a possibility. No! Intriguing. Pretty convincing. You gained a little favour with the jury. Okay. So, Inspector Valetti, is it possible you arrested an innocent bystander simply for being a messy eater? Now hold on to your minute, Falcon. You're overlooking something quite crucial. Dame Kathleen's an elegant bourgeois kitten. She was no doubt brought up with flawless etiquette and perfect table manners. Ah, but all of the cutlery was stolen. Ha 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 ha. Oh, that is a good question. At least it would be at an ordinary dinner banquet. But as it happens, something was missing from that particular banquet. Something that forced Dame Kathleen to eat with her paws. And that is the missing silverware. Dame Kathleen was forced to eat steak with her paws because the silverware of the household had been previously stolen. Stolen? I don't recall any mention of that in the police report. We weren't aware of anything missing from the Rawghoul residence when we performed the initial investigation. But as it happened, Baron Rawghoul approached us on this very subject last night. Ah! Ooh, innocent bat. What a twist, says the hippo. You gained a little more favour with the jury. Excellent. What is the meaning of all of this? Bloody steak, misplaced silverware? Inspector, was your investigation so lax that you overlooked these basic facts in your initial report? Lax? My investigation, Judge, I assure you, I am the most thorough investigative officer on the force. Then it is amazing that the Parisian police managed to solve any crimes at all. Oh dear. Be on your way, Inspector. Perhaps do a little inspecting for your next case. Fine, so be it. Messieurs, until next time. Prosecutor, I trust your next witness is ready. Yes, of course, Your Honour. I call upon the, Monsieur Robitio, the photographer who attended the banquet on the night of the murder. Monsieur Robitio, please approach the stand and recite the oath. How does it go? I speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. It's a little cliché, to be perfectly honest. Could the witness please introduce himself for the court record? Huh. As if anyone in this courtroom does not immediately recognise me. I am the great Monsieur Robinho, cutting-edge photographer and visionary. I don't just take people's pictures, I capture their very essence. Je suis l'artiste, tu es un pipe. You may have seen my work in hip magazines, Le Plancher or C'est Chouette. I can send you tweets if you like. This game. What on earth is a tweet? Bird-to-bird communication. Come on, Falcon, it's the 19th century. Get with the times already. Yes, your works are very impressive, Monsieur Robinho, but let's get down to business. Could you tell us your activities on the night of the murder? Very well. I was hired by Baron Rorgoul to capture the evening's events. I arrived at 7:30. I pointed to my camera and captured the beauty of the banquet in one fantastic photograph. He's lying. The Baron told us he arrived at 7. I then billed Baron Rorgoul and left. Like a true artist. And with regard to the photograph itself, who did you photograph? I thought you might ask, so I brought a copy so you could see for yourselves. Oh, I bet it's going to be doctored. Oh, very good. Let's take a closer look. And aha! The Baron's present when he's not supposed to be. The photograph is a fabrication. My word, this is an exquisite picture, isn't it? Let's see, who do we have here? A middle, the Baron. On the left, Seigneur Pertois de Miao, father of the defendant. And finally, the housemaid Colline de Hort, who I suspect may have snuck into the picture uninvited. As you can see, 2 people are clearly absent from the photo. The first is the victim, Monsieur Cronwy. The second, the defendant, Dame Kathleen de Miao. Quite suspicious, wouldn't you agree? Just a moment, Monsieur Rabington. This proves nothing. So the defendant and the victim were not photographed with the others. That doesn't mean they were in the garden together at that point. Hold your horses, Falcon. I'm not done yet. The prosecution may continue. Behind the photographed subjects, we see a wall clock with the time set to 7:30. Ah! Again, a lie. This has all been doctored. Why is the time significant? Well, as Inspector Valetti told us earlier, that was the exact time the murder took place. Do you see, Falcon? Every suspect has an alibi at the exact time of the murder, save for Dame Kathleen herself. Hey, Falcon, that photograph doesn't seem right. Looks different from the one we borrowed from Robinho's studio. I see it too. Our photograph shows... Yes, I know this game. I already figured this out. If we assume that only one photograph was taken, this demonstrates that one of the photographs must have been edited in some way. You should just slam that evidence down. Be like, bam, inconsistency. The whole courtroom is out of order, case closed. Can't do that. I suppose you could be a little more delicate with your words. No, I mean, I can't do that because our evidence was illegally obtained. If we were to present it, Monsieur Robinho would ask how we acquired it and the whole trial could... Oh, we're playing by proper damn rules. Evidence has to be properly acquired or it doesn't count in the court of law. Right, I see. Oh, well, we don't want that. No, we don't. I should tread lightly. Your Honour, I would like to cross-examine the witness. Very well. Defence may proceed. Waste of time if you ask me. Photographs are rock-solid evidence. No, they're not. Okay, we know there's 2 things that are wrong. The clock, but also the time he arrived. Now, is that actually in my... is actually in my evidence? So, do we actually... Yeah, there was the testimony of the Baron regarding the timings included. No, and to be honest, it sounds like the Baron was responsible for this. So the Baron's extremely unlikely to corroborate the statement because, you know, he's probably the prime suspect. So, he arrived... We know... Well, wait, hang on. Didn't you say 7:30? Okay, interesting. I then build him in one magnificent photograph. Yeah, let's... 7:30. Set up my camera. Capture the beauty of my events in one magnificent photograph. Ooh, hang on. Which of these statements is going to lead into the right direction? He did arrive at 7 PM. That's true. But the photograph was not until 7:30. Set up the camera. Now that is true. One magnificent photograph. And build the Baron left. Well, let's go down the photograph route here. Let's take a closer look at this photograph. And I see a mistake in the photograph, i.e. the clock. Just to clarify, Monsieur Rubinio, photographs are a direct reflection of reality, are they not? That is correct. The photographic process leaves no room for bias or inaccuracies. This is most curious, because I see a mistake. A mistake? Impossible, I just told you, Monsieur. The camera is a perfect, unbiased device. The photographs it produces are flawless. Falcon, I'm not seeing any mistakes. Perhaps you could be more specific. Certainly. Click the area of the photograph you would like to believe contains a mistake. Totally, it's going to be, okay, we can do any of these, but, like, I can't prove that one. I can, however, prove the clock. The clock in the photograph. There's something not right about it. Well, isn't that convenient? The defence seems to think there's something wrong with the key piece of evidence that implicates his client. Don't give me that cocky tone, Monsieur Rabbington. I have evidence that there's something wrong with the clock in that picture. The evidence is the missing hands. The photograph clearly shows the clock's hands pointing at 7 and 6. That much is self-evident. Which is most curious, because the clock in the lounge of the Chateau Crinière has no hands! It has no hands? The clock is merely a decorative piece, a talking item. Feel free to ask Baron Rorguel or his housemaid if you have doubts. Monsieur Rubinio, how do you explain this discrepancy? I don't know, there must be some sort of mistake. My camera is flawless. There is no mistake, Monsieur. Your photograph depicts something that does not exist in the real world. Maybe there was an error in the printing process. An error precisely where the clock's hand should be. Please, Monsieur, don't patronise us. Allow me to offer a more plausible explanation. You, Monsieur Rubinio, edited the photograph. Edited? I'm no expert, but I suspect you used paint or ink to carefully put hands upon the clock. It would have been a simple task considering the clock face was bare. Or even speculate that you specifically chose to include a handless clock in the photograph just to simplify the editing process. And indeed, the Baron was the one who specified it must be in that location. We know that much. Falcon, your reasoning is absurd. Why would the witness do such a thing? Is it not obvious? By showing the photograph to have taken place at exactly 7:30, it clears all the photographer's subjects of suspicion. In other words, Monsieur Rubinio created a perfect alibi. Of course, this raises further questions. Who is the witness protecting? And why? Why was Monsieur Rubinio coerced, bribed, threatened? Enough silence. Let's hear some answers, Monsieur Rubinio. Fine, you got me. I'm guilty. I did it all. You did it? You're confessing to the murder of Monsieur Grandouille? What? No. I have no idea who killed the frog. I'm just admitting that I'm guilty of producing fraudulent photographs. I was ordered to make changes to the printed photographs, and yes, that included adding hands to the clock. You were ordered? By whom? I dare not say. Monsieur Rubinio, I strongly advise you answer the defence's questions. You have pledged to speak without fear, after all. With respect, Judge, I fear his claws more than I fear the punishment of the justice system. I shall name no names. His claws? Jeer that, Falcon. That is most unfortunate, Monsieur Rubinio. We cannot and shall not torture names out of you. We don't live under an ancien regime, after all. But since you have admitted to falsifying evidence, then you cannot stay on the stand as a witness. Take your leave. You shall be charged with perjury in due course. I can't protest. That's the least I deserve for my failure as an artiste. Good day, messieurs. Intriguing, pretty convincing. Alright, more favour with the jury. But we still don't know who the actual person was. Well, we do. We're pretty confident we know who the person was. It was the Baron himself. So the clock's hands were painted on. So what? Doesn't matter. The photograph still depicts Dame Kathleen as absent close to the time of the murder. That's significant. Don't be dense, Monsieur Rabbington. If the photograph is not completely genuine, it cannot be considered reliable evidence. Why not? It's still a portrayal of the night's events. Because if we accept that one part of the picture was edited, then we must accept the possibility that other parts were too. Is it possible that Dame Kathleen was painted out? Even worse, is it possible another person was painted in? We know the witness was trying to cover for someone. All possibilities must be accounted for. So what are you trying to say, Falcon? That the housemaid paid off the photographer? Or was it Seigneur Pertois de Miao, perhaps? I don't think so. The housemaid lacks a means or motive, and it would make sense for Seigneur Pertois to implicate his own daughter. Well, surely you're not suggesting that the honest and beloved Baron Rawgould deliberately tried to frame Dame Kathleen? Because that would be the most outlandish theory, yet the Baron is a pillar of our community. He would never do such a thing. Monsieur Rappington, I'm not here to throw accusations. Perhaps I should offer my opinion. The Baron. Baron, it's not time for your witness testimony yet. So you would think, prosecutor, and yet I see my good reputation getting tarnished by your incompetence. Incompetence? Indeed. Let us proceed with the witness questioning. Is that fine with you, Judge? Yes, I suppose that is fine. Very good, and I trust the defence has no objections. No, no objections here. Fantastic. Oh, and before I forget, I pledge to speak without fear and prejudice, etc., etc. Now, prosecutor, ask me about what I witnessed over the course of the evening. Oh, okay. Baron Rawgould, on the night of the initial dinner went magnificently. When the photographer arrived, Monsieur Granwy left to visit the garden. Dame Kathleen followed behind him moments later. Seigneur Pertois, Monsieur Robinho and myself were engaged in conversation, so we paid her no mind. After the photographer had left her, my housemaid left to go find Monsieur Granwy and Dame Kathleen. That would be when I heard her cry for help. Thank you, Baron. I think we all know the story from there. I would like to cross-examine the witness. You doubt my integrity, garçon? I'm here to uncover the truth, Baron. Very well, then, hit me with your best shot. Let's establish with absolute certainty that I, Baron Rawgould, am an honest man. The defence may proceed with the cross-examination. So we have the statement. Now, which bit is wrong? So the photographer attended the thing. The red herring, this is a red herring. The meat we've already used. The missing silverware we've already used. We've got the photo, the missing hand, and the cigar. Okay, and yeah. So the cigar could be of interest because we know that he went into the garden because of the cigar. But we don't know that was fresh. So I'm not sure that's necessarily that useful. And it shows Colleen, Kathleen, and Pertois. I mean, I'm not sure why we don't just get Pertois up on the stand and make him testify that the, photograph was of... Actually, yeah, either the maid or Pertois will be able to testify that Kathleen was in the photo. We don't need to use the fake photo. We could just get either of them up on the stand, but for some reason we're not going to. Now... The cigar is the main bit of evidence we haven't used yet. So, could the problem be, it's that, well, we know, well, okay, Monsieur Granwy definitely left to visit the garden. That is true. The dinner, there was a dinner. Monsieur Granwy definitely left to visit the garden. And we've no reason to think he went anywhere other than the garden. And the housemaid did discover it. Possibly the issue is that when the photographer arrived, it wasn't Monsieur Granwy that left to visit the garden, or rather not just Monsieur Granwy, someone else left to visit, i.e. the Baron left to visit, because one, he's not in the photo, that we can't use that, but two, his cigar is in the fountain. So I'm going to go down this route and hope this is the right way. Baron Rawgould, let's see, what was your relation to Monsieur Granwy? Why did Monsieur Granwy visit the garden? Yeah, why did Monsieur Granwy visit the garden? That's probably, I mean, the relation to Monsieur Granwy is, we kind of know they were business partners. So why didn't, but I've not got any evidence to suggest that, like, I've got no evidence to prove that he did it to get one of his business partners out of the way. Why did Monsieur Granwy visit the garden? Let's go down this route. Why did Monsieur Granwy leave to visit the garden? I believe he wanted some fresh air. The steak did not sit well with him, I fear. Oh, I see. It's quite coincidental timing, isn't it? How so? Well, Monsieur Granwy felt sick and left the room just after the photographer arrived, just before the murder occurred. One might draw a link between the food and the sickness. Hold on, Falcon, surely you aren't suggesting that the Monsieur Granwy's food was poisoned in some way? No, I'm not. At least I've got no evidence to suggest that. So, no, I'm not suggesting that. No, there's nothing to indicate poisoning. I just find the timing somewhat puzzling. There is nothing puzzling about it. Monsieur Conwy always had a soft stomach. It's really no surprise he couldn't keep down a good rare steak. Do you have another question about Monsieur Conwy? Ooh. Well, the other question was... Well, let's have a look, see what... the other question is, why did he visit the garden? No, that's not right then. Okay. I have no further questions regarding Monsieur Conwy. Right. To visit the garden. Well, let's go down the garden route, because it's got to be something about the garden, because of the fountain in the garden. That's the one piece of evidence we've got to use yet. Baron, we saw the murder scene in your garden for ourselves. And what's with all the horses? When was the last time... Aha! When was the last time we visited it? We might be able to place him there with the cigar if he says he never goes there. Baron Rogul, when was the last time you ventured into your own garden? As it happens, I have quite serious allergies. I haven't been in my own garden for years. Aha! We've got him. Years, you say? Indeed. And now we've got him. We've absolutely got him now. Not right. Baron, I do not wish to call you a liar, but that claim does not hold up to scrutiny. Oh, and why is that? Because we have hard evidence that you visited the garden recently. Balderdash, my word is gold. Show the court this so-called hard evidence that I've been in my garden. The cigar. This was found in your garden. To be specific, it was found inside the fountain basin. Right beside where the murder occurred. A cigar butt? That belonged to anybody, and... Prosecutor, please shut your mouth. I can speak for myself. Okay, sorry, Baron. That is indeed the remnants of one of my cigars, but I must apologise, Monsieur Falcon, for I misunderstood your initial question. You see, prior to the banquet, I hadn't visited my own garden in years, but naturally, after hearing the housemaid's cry for help on the evening of the murder, I rushed outside. I was shocked and disgusted by what I saw. That must have been when I dropped my half-smoked cigar in the fountain basin. You see, Falcon, perfectly reasonable explanation. I would find that believable if the cigar were casually discarded. But as it happened, the cigar butt was found in the fountain's upper basin, a location that could only be accessed with great inconvenience. And a little paddling. The cigar butt was not dropped, it was deliberately hidden. There are any number of possible explanations. Are there? Because I can only think of one. And that is that you, Baron Rogul, deliberately hid your cigar butt to disguise your own illicit activities. Did I now? And what illicit activities would those be? You want me to spell it out? Fine. Let's put everything on the table. You, Baron Rogul, murdered Monsieur Conwy. That is what you were trying to keep hidden. Accusing me directly of murder? How shamelessly brazen. This is a ludicrous accusation, Falcon. The Baron is an upstanding citizen of the highest order. Your allegations are based that you have no evidence and no means, motives, or opportunity. No evidence? Think harder, Monsieur Rappington. Every piece of evidence points to Baron Rogul as the prime suspect. You want the means? The Baron certainly had the means. His lion's claws are as sharp as a surgeon's blade. Gutting a frog belly would be trivial for him. Even Monsieur Rubinio confessed just moments ago that he feared his claws. Ridiculous, I would never threaten a man with violence. You want a motive? The Baron had at least 10,000 francs worth of motive. By removing a business partner, the Baron's share of his railway company increased from 1/3 to 1/2. This is preposterous. And finally, the Baron had an opportunity. No, he crafted the perfect opportunity. He arranged a small banquet with a very select number of guests. He was aware of the missing silverware, yet he served steak, a food item that necessitates good cutlery. Why? To bloody the hands of his guests, of course. Then he hired an easily influenced photographer and staged a very specific picture in order to build a perfect alibi for himself. Photographing the guests in front of the handless clock to make for easy editing is quite an ingenious plan, it must be said. Prosecutor, are you just going to let this slanderous yarn go uncontested? Say something. Object. Oh, you're pitifully useless. After executing the murder, the Baron found himself still holding a single piece of incriminating evidence, his finished cigar. He knew that leaving it at the crime scene would raise suspicion, but he didn't have time to properly dispose of it. So out of desperation, he threw it into his fountain, out of sight of his guests and any snooping police. I imagine the Baron was hoping to implicate Seigneur Pertois de Miao, since that would ensure total control of his railway company. Alas, Dame Cataline was the first to happen upon the crime scene, so the Baron improvised. This is an outrage. Judge, I demand you disbar this ranting lunatic. No, there is only one outrage here. And that is a man like yourself able to use his wealth and status to frame an innocent girl for murder. You're a bourgeois of the worst kind. I am nothing like the fat cat bourgeois. I'm a respectable, hard-working capitalist. No, you're a ruthless man who would slaughter a dear friend just to reap a few francs. You incredulous whelp. I ought to gut you here and now like a damned frog. Could someone please restrain the Baron? I'm on it, Your Honour. Let's go, old man, to the conciergerie with you. Don't touch me, you filthy jackdaw. I can walk myself. This is quite a turn of events. Does the prosecution have anything to add? Well, in a manner of speaking, well, to be honest, no. Then I shall now confer with members of the jury to come to a decision. I ask that the animals of the court please be patient at this time. Falcon, that was pretty incredible. Thank you. I just hope it was enough. What do you mean? You just proved Kathleen's innocent. We'll get a not guilty verdict for sure. Sparrowson, I think you've misunderstood something important about the justice system. What's that? I haven't proved anything. As lawyers, we cannot deal in proofs. It's just not possible. All we can do is organise the evidence and convincingly explain what it suggests. I haven't proved Dame Kathleen's innocence. All I've done is demonstrate there is a significant possibility she is not guilty. I'm not sure I understand the difference. We have reached a decision. In light of the recent revelations, it is clear that an error of judgment was made with the initial arrest. On that note, we unanimously find the defendant, Dame Kathleen de Meow, to be not guilty. Not guilty indeed. Beautiful.
Monsieur Falcon, Petit Sparrowson, you did it!
Yes, I suppose we did, didn't we? We should head back to the office so we can celebrate properly. We did it, Falcon. I can't take all the credit. This was a group achievement.
I am so proud of you both.
I'll go get 1 bottle of wine and 3 of our least dirty glasses.
You were amazing, Monsieur Falcon.
Oh, it was nothing.
I very much like the way you pinned the murder on the Baron. That was an act of sheer genius.
Well, I didn't pin anything. Sparrowson and I just worked at unveiling the truth given the facts of the case.
Oh, Monsieur Falcon, there is no need to play coy. The case is over.
Play coy?
Don't tell me you're actually being sincere.
I'm completely lost.
Oh, wow. I thought the goody-goody thing was an act, but you actually don't know. All right. I'll spell it out for you.
Oh my goodness, there's going to be one hell of a twist here.
I murdered Monsieur Grenouille. I saw him in the garden, all drunk and vulnerable, and I seized my opportunity. It was nothing personal, just business, you understand.
Business?
To increase my papa's share of the train company, of course. My papa always said that the drunk old frog was the weakest link.
Your confession doesn't make any sense at all. I found Baron Rogul's cigar butt hidden in the garden.
Oh, I put that there. I expected the police to find it, but I suppose that was putting too much faith in the brain of Paris's finest.
But Falcon proved that Monsieur Rubinio's photograph was edited.
It was edited. I wasn't in the picture because I was busy paying a visit to Monsieur Grenouille in the garden.
We took the edited version. The version that was in the studio was the real one. Oh my god.
My papa knew I needed an alibi, so he ordered Monsieur Rubinio to paint me over Baron Orgueil and to add hands to the clock.
Oh my goodness, what a twist!
But that lazy artist didn't manage to finish altering either photograph by trial day. It was a good thing that Monsieur Falcon was so imaginative, because that could have gone very badly. What's with the silence? You should both be proud. There aren't many lawyers in the whole of France who could have won a case like this, even for a bourgeois kitty like me.
I think you should leave.
Fine. So much for the celebrations. Here's the payment for your services, straight from my papa's pockets. Well, adieu, Monsieur Falcon. Adieu, petit Sparson.
I should point out the moment I told Claire about the steak, blood, paws thing, the first thing she said to me was, but steak, blood, and any other blood would look completely different. There's no way they'd look the same. So Claire flipping called it, blimey. Falcon, what do we do now? Falcon? Oh dear. A dramatic conclusion there. And yes, we will indeed save there. This is one of those games where I'm happy to stick by my decisions. Though it sounds that's a really interesting Act 1, because that means no matter what happens, like something goes a bit wrong. Either you make the wrong decisions and the cat goes to prison, at which point you presumably think you've condemned an innocent person to prison, or you get the not guilty verdict, in which case you actually discover she was guilty all along, and therefore you've let a murderer go free. So I'm guessing Falcon has a bit of a crisis. He has a bit of a crisis moment no matter what happens. But yes, there we go. January 7th, 1848. And the Palais du Louvre, which I'm not sure what it is at this point. I'm guessing it's not an art gallery yet. And oh, let us be reasonable, signors. I'm sure this is a simple misunderstanding. Oh, never trust a fox unless you're watching the Disney Robin Hood. There is no misunderstanding. In the name of the king, arrest the Spaniard. Oh no. Another murder has taken place. Act 2. A fox among wolves. I knew Falcon wouldn't feel like turning up to the office on Friday. But now it's midday on Monday and there's still no sign of him. This is becoming a little concerning. And oh, we're actually playing around as Sparrowson. I'm guessing you should actually go look for him. Off you go, Sparrowson. I should probably go find him. His home would be a good place to start, but the bird brain never gave me his address. I'll just have to find him the hard way. And so ends the first act of Aviary Attorney, and so begins the second act. That's actually quite interesting. Like, I've done kind of games where you're kind of basically going through, they're kind of like text adventures, kind of, you know, like reading games. Like, I did, previously I've done like more romance focused ones. Like I did a Tofu Boyfriend and Nicole and Fading Hearts. This one's a lot more interesting. There's actually a lot more kind of interactive stuff here. And the art style is beautiful. The art style is just so gorgeous. It's beautiful. The script is full of terrible puns, which I enjoy immensely, of course. But yes, okay. I'm going to put these two parts out, and I will see how this goes. Would you like to see the rest of this game? Because this game could become a bit of a series. I'm understanding this isn't a long game. If I kind of do the rest of this, it will only be like, I don't know, 4 or 5 parts more, I'm thinking. Because I don't think it's a particularly long game at all. Yeah, I could do the rest of this. I will see how people liked it. Do let me know in the comments below whether you'd like to see the rest of this story, the story of JJ Falcon and his hard put upon sidekick Sparrowson. I quite like it. I'll see. Maybe I'll kind of make a decision based on how these two videos go down first. But yes, thank you very, very much to Claire for joining me and helping me out with the ridiculously stereotypical French cat.
You're welcome.
That is, incidentally, of course, not how Claire actually speaks. So yes, possibly more of this. Let me know. I'll make a decision based on how well it goes down. You know, I don't like making videos that people aren't enjoying. So I'll see how much people love these videos. And if they do, we will definitely have a little bit more. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I've been John.
I've been Claire.
This has been Many a True Nerd. And this has been the really quite interesting Aviary Attorney. Thank you very much, and goodbye. What the hell? Alright, we've now got a Scottish zombie travelling with us. Oh, he's actually quite good now. And he's got over his drinking problem. Which is... Oh, he eats human flesh. He's got some decent carrying capacity. Okay, fine, he eats people. But come on, let's not be flipping judgmental about this.